Welcome everyone for the post-summit roundtable. You guys are awesome. My name is MikeyAce. I'm going to be joined by Tellous. I'm a 3D artist, world generalist, been a part of this community for a few years. I'm also an MHCP mentor. Tellous is an expert creator, also an MHCP mentor. We had the privilege and so grateful to meet a lot of you in this chat last week, and I cannot wait to tell you all about it. So 2025 MetaConnect was amazing. We learned so many great things. Those watching at home that saw it on the YouTube feed, those were grateful like myself that were able to be in person to meet all these amazing people, to see Mark in person. Such an amazing experience. We're going to be discussing today all the publicly announced features and a lot of my favorite highlights that I thought were pretty cool, and some hidden gems that I think maybe a few of us may have missed because there's a lot of amazing features, but there's a cool hidden gems that I really want to talk about today to bring some attention to. And then again, like I mentioned, we're going to do a nice Q&A at the end. Off to the big news. Okay, Horizon Studio. All right, this is what you guys came for. This is big news. This is really big news. It's so big you can fit over 100 people in your world big. Like I remember Horizon when we weren't able to fit even 32. So 32 is a lot. Now we're going to have over 100. And keep in mind, we're going to still have to optimize our worlds. We're still going to have to do a lot of our homework to make sure that we have a world that can fit that many people. But just knowing that this new engine, this new studio has the power, I think is amazing. I think you guys, I cannot wait to see what you guys create with this. Some other little features, little big features, live Blender model updates. Like if you use Blender like myself, I'm a 3D artist. This is huge. This is definitely going to speed up our workflow. Cannot wait for the live Blender model updates. Other big features that I liked, different formats, FBX, USDA, popcorn effects. These are going to be really big. Some of the big highlights, great lighting, like the graphics that you guys are going to see coming soon. And I'm sure you can see here from this picture on the right, beautiful graphics. We're going to have, I believe, PBR. We're going to have really professional looking graphics that take light, beautiful shaders, professional grade shaders, full baked light support, realistic water. I know a lot of you guys have islands and water in your world. You're going to love how realistic this water looks and how optimized it is. There's going to be a new in-editor GUI that's really cool. Can't wait to try that out. And definitely performant frame precise HUDs. So lots of amazing features. This update is going to be one of the biggest ones ever, and I cannot wait to see what you guys create. So with that said, I'm going to throw it over to Telos, and he will be telling us about the AI integration.
Yes. Awesome. Of course, the new studio is so exciting to think about just seeing the screenshots of whatever tidbits we can, and it's exciting to see what more tooling comes out of it, right? And so one of those things that was sort of teased in the keynote was this idea of how you could build the world with more natural language prompts and things like that. And so what that looks like is yet to see all the details there, but exciting to see the ways that they're sort of like getting us ready with these, like, you see in those screenshots on the right, that like great landscape. The idea of just switching scene to scene with just simple prompt is just so awesome. So that definitely helps with beginner scripters or beginner creators, just being able to like get a whole lot of content and things that would typically take a whole lot of skill to learn. You're able to sort of experiment with things much faster now. And what does that open up for you? I hope you're all thinking about what kind of worlds that unlocks for you, and capabilities, uh, experiences that you can make with tools that make it that simple, right? So on the specific side of the Gen AI tooling, right, we're seeing whole scene generation. You might have caught some like environmental generation stuff that's coming down the pipe, right, of like different ways that that you'll be able to prompt out the different styles. If you've been following along with the Gen AI environment generation so far, we've seen a lot of the island with the dock and the cabin, but like other types of scenes will be coming down the pipe there, which is so exciting to see, because the best thing about that, it's just like having the ability to create a totally explorable space by just a simple prompt is like, that's so fun. And so interactive behaviors and scripts, right? So we're seeing the assistant, code assistant be featured prominently and showing off how you can just have simple interactions just come out based on your prompts. If you got a chance to see it, I was fortunate enough to be in one of the Connect videos, the Gen AI one specifically, and there was a demo portion there at the end where I demonstrated what you can already do today with the code assistant, right? So as the tools get better, right, you can imagine the types of scripts you'll be able to make are more complex. So great to see that showing up in these, in these demos. 3D meshes, of course, we're seeing a lot of progress on that front. Jumping ahead a little bit, you can see on that bottom right corner, it's like a little otter looking avatar there in the background. That idea of like animated avatars and like generated from AI, right? You prompt to get the avatar itself, the model of the avatar. So not only can you do models for the props around the world, but you can have your avatars themselves be generated, or like your NPC avatars generated as well. Of course, custom UI, ambient audio, sound effects, still great as usual. We can expect improvements on those fronts. NPC generation, if you're not already playing with those, I just had a one-on-one session before this call that we were able to dive into generating these like embodied NPCs that speak and have conversations with you. So if you're not already playing with that, go check it out as soon as possible. They're so much fun, and they're just going to keep getting better. So we can go on to the next slide here and talk about scripts, script control specifically. So what we're seeing from Horizon Studio side of things is better control over how we're going to handle the local entities, making the networking model a little more precise, a little more manageable. As we continue to get more documentations for that'll be great to see how exactly that's being done. But just knowing that it's coming down the pipe is great. Player prefabs, right? Just having these asset templates and multiple scripts per entity is just great ways to like keep making more complex systems, right? That idea of like having the behaviors a little less coupled, right? You can share some behaviors across the different entities, and as the paradigms start changing too, it's important to note, to sort of be open to those changes. There is a way we have been sort of creating in Horizon Worlds for a while now, that you had your one component and your one entity, and most of the time you're writing scripts and behaviors that like sort of relate to one thing, and trying to figure out ways to like architect it to where things could be reusable and things like that. This, multiple scripts per entity makes it even easier to sort of break apart these shared sections of logic and stuff like that. So super welcome to that feature. Great to see that. We have breakpoint debugging. So this was part of the message that William had sent out on the forums. This will be interesting to see how it ultimately plays out. That'll be, anybody who's in the scripting side of things. If you've scripted before, this will be a really helpful feature if in fact you're able to like, in runtime as you're playing your world, it stops the execution of the scripts, wherever you have your breakpoints, so you can inspect variables and see what the values of things are, and make sure that functions are getting hit. So that, love that feature. And then finally, we got bring your own source control, and that's going to be for our Git and Perforce heads, right? Like if you are a big fan of those source control systems, and if you're part of big teams or worked with teams before, and you've had sort of a bit of a headache merging code in the past, this just brings it back to industry standards that you can expect to be able to merge these change sets much easier, since you're basically just running local instances of your source control anyways. You'll be able to do it as you're familiar with in all your other professional endeavors. And with that, I'll throw it back over to you, Mikey.
Okay. So where is my 3D animators? Let me call out my 3D animators. Put it in the chat if you guys are excited as much as I am about these animation tools coming, because this is a big deal. This is a big deal. You know, we all want our worlds to have movement. You know, we want it. Yeah, I'm reading the chat now. Excited, extremely stoked. I'm really, really excited about this. We all want to have our worlds be moving around. We want animations. And what this is really going to do is it's going to give us more control for the things that we've been wanting. And with state machines and graphs, we're going to be able to blend different animations to other ones. It will look very, very clean and smooth and fluid. Like, this is going to be next level for all my animators out there. And from what it looks like it's very easy to use. So even if you're not an animator, this might be something you can add to your world that could really bring it alive. So very, very excited about this. Cool. So we took care of our animators, but where are my audio engineers at? Because this is another big feature, and I know a lot of people may not be familiar with FMOD, but I've worked with other game platforms in the past, and I've worked on teams that use FMOD. And let me tell you, this thing is a game changer. Like, you can see from the picture on the right, like, you can have different audio tracks, you can have different audio loops going, special effects. It looks like you can even put audio effects on it. So you may ask, like, how or why should I use this? Like, if you have a game where you have boss levels, or you have like an open world where you're traveling, maybe you want, your footsteps to change sound when you're on snow compared to when you're on gravel. Like, this will automatically do that type of stuff. If you have like a game where you're getting closer to the boss, maybe the boss music will slowly start to play. Like, this kind of does a lot of it for you. It kind of helps you tell your story. And sound is huge. Think about all those times we're in VR and we're totally immersed with sound. You put your headphones on, you feel like you're actually there. Think about your favorite video games when you were a kid. Like, all those games, their soundtracks really stuck out. This is our way now of getting complete control over any of our experiences. So very, very excited about this one. I hope you guys enjoy this one as much as I do. So I'm going to throw it over to Telos for more key features.
Awesome. Yeah. And so, I mentioned professional workflows, right? Something that would help a whole lot on that front is, have you ever, wondered, while yeah, you can keep making changes to your world, right? And so our previous workflow was, if you think back to the VR days, right, you could have the people come in VR into your preview mode and sort of test out the new features, right? But it doesn't quite give you that full sense of the play test unless you publish it, right? We've seen that in practice, right? And so what is coming down the pipe is this idea of being able to publish to different channels, right? So different playtest channel, different ways you want to just like segment your play testing, right? So there's the live version of your world, but then there's also these alternate versions that let you play test with different kinds of groups, right? So that should hopefully help a whole lot on when play testing and making sure you've got the right people going to the right place, right? The other aspect that is really great, really professional, is the integrated performance metrics in the editor, right? This idea of being able to track what's going on during your play tests, making sure that you got your memory, your draw calls, your FPS, your CPU, all of that is all in check. Um, you're able to break it down and take a look at each individual sections to get a better understanding of what's going on. That is always such an important thing that oftentimes back in the early days we didn't think about too much, but now that as we're starting to create these more mature games with in the sense that they have, the goal is to get large numbers and have like live services and make it feel really premium for the player. It's important that we keep track of the experience itself, make sure that it's running as smoothly as possible so that the player is running into less hitches and definitely like running into less crashes, right? So this is how we stay mindful, is being able to have that real-time metrics right in our development cycle. So yeah, there's this in-scene view modes. I think we'll see more of that as we hear more about the incoming studio. But for now, we'll carry on with our presentation here. So back to you, Mikey.
Okay. All right. So you may be asking yourself, what is the timeline on this? Is this available now? When is it coming out? Well, right now, there's a closed beta underway. We're going to have links to join it. I highly recommend if you're interested in this new technology, try it out. Sign up for the beta. The beta, I believe, is coming soon, but definitely sign up, get your name on that list, and definitely provide feedback. Meta is going to be, you know, listening to us, the creators, and see what we think, and we're going to help build this platform together. So, but don't fear, you can still use the current engine as it is today. It's not going anywhere. So we just want to make sure that you know that you can continue building in the current World's desktop editor. You can continue still building in the VR engine. Just know that eventually those over time may be receiving less support. So as all the resources shift to the new Horizon Studio. So definitely take advantage, learn these new features, and also you can continue to build in the world's desktop editor. So here's a little hidden gem that I saw that not many people are talking about. Issue reporting. You can see from my picture. I was a little excited to see this one. I know a lot of us have lots of stuff that we want to push to the front. We're going to have a new upvoting system for any issues in the community, anything with the program or anything like that. So definitely like this one. Take advantage of this. This is coming, and really love this one. Cool. So I'm going to pass it back to Telos, and he's going to talk about the other MetaConnect highlights.
Yeah, and these are just the ones that it might not be Horizon Worlds related, but it just feels good to know that the meta ecosystem is thriving, and there VR is still feeling supported, and all kinds of things are evolving and changing. That all that stuff tends to come back in some form, right? When the ecosystem is thriving, we'll be thriving here on Horizon Worlds as well if there's a market for it. So luckily, we I hope you all took that away, that there is great investment, great things coming down the pipe, and more to be excited about. But the ones things that stood out: the new VR game Reach. We've got the new Meta glasses, Ray-Ban Metas. Got the new Vanguard, the HSTN, the Ray-Ban display with the wristband input. Wristband input being so cool. It's such a mind-blowing technology that just works so well. Something, when the VR realm of things, that was a great stat, was that web browser time spent being up 20% or 28% is like, that's cool, right? As long as people are getting in headsets, that's one step closer to seeing Horizon related content. So love that. Love Discord coming to Quest as a native app. That's exciting, right? We'll be able to do a lot of the Discord stuff we're doing today in headset. See if that feels like, another great thing to add to our workflows on our day to day, or just hanging out, right? Because that's fun. The world detail page, this one's, Horizon related, being redesigned for a cleaner, smarter look, elevating creator recognition and making it easier for users to quickly see why a world is worth joining and jumping in right away. There's not a lot as far as screenshots go on that front, but something definitely worth keeping an eye out on to, that's, if whatever comes of that, it ideally is for the better of making more people come into your world. So just keep an eye out for world detail page updates. Another Horizon Worlds things, the rest of these are Horizon Worlds related. We've got the new world visits metrics in the creator portal, letting you see how popular the world is by viewing real number of people who have joined in each world. Once again, we'll see more of that as it comes through. New world rating system lets you see feedback to help you optimize user experiences. Always grateful to have feedback whenever it can be surfaced to us. So I hope you all get a lot of use out of being able to see more feedback, and even this idea of like rating worlds too. So last but not least, avatar clothing creation is now available for all MHCP members. So keep an eye out for future workshops. If you're looking to learn the avatar clothing creation systems, this is This is how you're going to do it. Join us on some workshop tomorrow, in fact, according to Space Glitter in the chat. But awesome. Yeah. Back to you, Mikey.
Well, this is what it's all about. What MetaConnect was all about was supporting creators. And I love that Meta has invested in us. There's a $50 million creator fund that has paid out millions. And then there's currently a new $2.5 million contest that was just announced. I highly recommend you all sign up for that. But this is all about you guys. Like in-world purchases are up 280%. And that's because of this community. So I definitely applause to you guys. There's a lot of nice features coming, but it's the community that's going to be using these features to make these amazing experiences. There's also going to be a lot of ways we can share these experiences on Facebook, Instagram, as you can see on the right. And we're going to be able to link to our worlds, and it'll take us right to our worlds, and through Facebook and Instagram feeds, which is going to allow us to have more friends and family come visit our worlds. This is all amazing stuff. So I cannot wait to see what we all do with it. And I'm just very, very excited to continue to see this community grow and expand with so many amazing, talented creators. And again, I just want to say it was amazing meeting all of you guys. You're all inspiring. And together we can do big, big things. So thank you all for coming. Really appreciate it. And those of you that I got to meet in person, it was such an amazing time. I'll never forget these memories. You guys inspire us. This is such an amazing community. Very grateful to be a part of it. Just know if you have any questions, you guys are not alone. We're all here as a community to help you. Really excited to what the future brings with this new engine and all these new competitions. So I cannot wait to see what you create next. And thank you, Tellos, for joining me. And with that being said, thank you all and have a nice day. See you soon.